Now then, chickens. If I look a bit sweaty and dishevelled, it's because I am. I've just been recording some fucking deathcore vocals for my band right here in this very chair. Today, what I'm going to be doing is answering some questions from my Instagram. I posted one of those things where it's like, ask me anything, and let people compile some questions and stuff. So I've got them here on my phone next to me, and I'm going to try and get through them all, but there's quite a few, so if I can't, I'll split it into 2 videos. Let's get started. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm just looking at my phone because I've got the questions up here, so don't worry about it. Right, let's get going. First question is, would you tattoo someone's face/neck or hands if they didn't have tats anywhere else? I've actually been asked to do this quite a lot, and usually I say no. People sometimes try and get around it by, they'll be like, oh, I want a sleeve, a full sleeve off you, but can we start with the hand? That's usually how they get around it, but I usually just say no because, I don't know, unless it's like a fucking older dude or something. Even still, I'd probably recommend getting like a little banger somewhere on the, I don't know, on the fucking wrist or something, ankle, whatever, just to make sure that they can handle the pain. Because the last thing you want to do is fucking start like a neck tattoo, hand tattoo, or face tattoo or whatever, and then like 2 minutes into it, them go like, bloody hell, I can't handle it. And you have to leave them with like, just like a outline of a fucking something on them. So yeah, probably not. There are exceptions though, where I would. I can't think of the exceptions right now. Maybe if it was like a older geezer or something, not someone who's like 18, 19, 20 or whatever, I'd probably be tempted to do it, but usually not. Next question. This question is, talk about going vegan and what it means to you. So I went vegan about 7 years ago. I was veggie for about a year before that, so it's been about 8 years without eating any animal stuff. Apart from that year, vegetarian. I think I was still eating cheese, if I remember right. And then I tapered off that when me and my partner got together, because she's been vegan for, I think, like 16 years or something like that. So it was easy to transition from vegetarian to vegan because she could kind of guide me on what I should, shouldn't, can and can't eat and stuff like that. Every now and then, not like commonly, I'll slip up a little bit by accident, like, I don't know, I'll be at a pub or something having a pint, and my partner will be like, just come up and be like, what you drinking there? And I'll be like, oh, whatever. And she's like, we can't drink that because it's got whatever in it. And, I think it's hard sometimes to like know what's in everything, especially when it comes to like drinks and, like stuff that you wouldn't expect animal products to be in anyway. But most of the time I'm completely like straight with it. But I did it from a animal well-being / health of the planet kind of perspective rather than like health or anything. I do think I've got quite a healthy diet or whatever. But that's the secondary cause for me. The main thing is the not relying on the death of other creatures to for me to stay alive, because I don't think human life is worth more than animal life. So yeah, that's that. Next question. This next question is probably one of the hardest questions I could ever be asked, and it is by my mate. He says, you can only play 5 games for the rest of time. What are they? I could make a video on this that'll probably be like over an hour long, so I'm just going to try and go with my initial thoughts. We'll go Dark Souls 1. We'll go Dark Souls 1. We'll go Monster Hunter World. We'll go Stardew Valley. We'll go Disco Elysium. One left. What do I play a lot? That's the important thing, isn't it? It's not like your favourite games. It's 5 games for the rest of time. No Man's Sky, because I like sitting and just browsing, exploring the cosmos on that. I think those games would keep me sorted for the rest of my existence. If I had to, if someone said, if you play another game outside of those 5, you will die, I think I could do it. I probably wouldn't game as much, but I think I'd still consistently play those 5 games for the rest of my life. Maybe. I mean, Dark Souls came out, fucking a long time ago now, and I still jump on that and do a quick run through. You know, like I'll just start and finish it in like 3 or 4 days sometimes, just to be like, get my fix. But yeah, next question. Same person has also asked me, if you had to eat a life-size sculpture of yourself, what food would it be made out of? This should be a harder question, but it's very easy for me. Mashed potato. I feel like I can eat a seemingly infinite amount of it. I don't do it so much anymore because, like, I got the gym and that, and it's, you know, it just fucking turned me into a slug of inactivity because it, you know, makes you tired and sleepy to eat loads of potato. But I think I could eat as much mash as required exponentially. Kind of like, what's he called off One Punch Man? How his power scales to the enemy that he's fighting. I think my ability to eat mashed potato, as long as it's good, you know, it's got like fucking butter, salt, pepper, maybe a little bit of something else in there. As long as it's seasoned and that. The size of the plate you provide me of mash is the amount that I can eat. If you bring me a sculpture of myself of mash, I will eat that for dinner. If you bring me a bowl of mash, I'll eat that. If you fill a swimming pool with mashed potato, I'll eat that as well. There's just no end to it. I can and will eat as much mash as you require of me. Next up, my good friend Danny C has asked me favourite Wraiths riff. Wraiths is a band that I am in, and we've been inactive since about 2016, 2017 or something, but we're writing again, and he said, what is the favourite riff? I'd have to say, probably going to get this video blocked for playing music, but I'd have to say this one. And I'll be free to roam when death takes me home. Yeah, that one. That's probably my favourite Wraiths riff. It's just a big fucking chuggy boy, isn't it? Best you get. Big, slow, sludgy little number. But yeah, next question. Next question from my mate Luke is best Souls game. Dark Souls 2. It's Dark Souls 2. If you don't agree with that, you can fucking die in a chalice of magma. It's Dark Souls 2. It's just the right answer. It's more expansive. It introduced far more weapon combinations. It has more weapon combinations. Has more build possibilities. There's more bosses. And people are like, yeah, but the levels don't intertwine as much and they don't make sense. They do. And if they don't, who cares? The world of Dark Souls is a living hell of confusion and misery and mystery. So if there is a lava palace, a lava lake sitting above something that it shouldn't, that doesn't take away the fact that Dark Souls 2 is the best. So Dark Souls 2 is the best one. Next question is actually tattoo related. It is, where do I start to build drawing/painting skills to pursue an apprenticeship? All I'd say on that, not answering, not going into like how to get an apprenticeship and stuff, but just how to begin. I would say the best thing you can do is just draw all the time and paint as much as possible. You really want to be training your hands and your imagination and stuff to create drawings and like paintings as much as you can, really. Obviously, barring a few days, obviously here and there, maybe like a week every now and then when I've gone on holiday, but I'd say for the most part, if you include sketching little drawings on books and, in the corners of like notepads or shit like that, I've probably drawn something most days of my life since I was like 8. I think there's some drawings that like my dad's got and stuff that date back to me being about 3 or 4. And then obviously I'll have been fucking around and stuff for a long time, but I reckon since I was a very, very young child, most days I've sketched or drawn or painted or done something. And, practice makes you want to be perfect, but you'll never achieve perfection. You'll just achieve a better version of the drawings that you did yesterday. And the day after that, you'll be better than the day before. And then the day after that, you'll be better again. It's just about drawing as much as possible. And if you can't draw something, maybe if you can't start and finish a drawing maybe 4 days of the week in a row, you might struggle to be a tattoo artist. So it's a good test to see if you're like truly into it, because as soon as you start tattooing and get to a point where you're like relatively busy, you're just going to be drawing constantly. And for me and most of us, that's a big positive because we fucking love it. But if you're like, fucking hell, I can't draw this often, then you might not be able to do it, or you might turn into one of those fucking losers that uses AI and stuff like that to make designs and all that bollocks. So yeah, just draw as much as possible, really, as much as you can, and every day you'll get a bit better, and you'll fucking hate every drawing that you do, because you just can't get it what it looks like in your imagination, and that never ends, never goes anywhere. That I sometimes weep into my desk because I can't make a fucking dragon look like what it looks like in my head, and I want to pull my fucking eyes out and throw up blood onto the paper and wiggle the blood around so it makes an image that's better than the one of you. Next question is tattoo artist red flags. Now, there's too many to put in this video. I maybe just have to do a standalone video on this one. For tattoo artist red flags, just for the sake of this video, I'll just say if a tattoo artist doesn't wear trousers, that's probably a red flag. Or if he dips his nose in yogurt every time he does a line and goes, "Oh, Muller," and then pulls the line, you should probably go to someone else. Or if he just has 2 bits of rope sticking out of his ears, and every time he gets up, he just pulls on the rope, and you realise it's attached inside his head, and there's naught but rope in there. There's no brain, it's just rope. And then he goes back to tattooing. That's probably a red flag as well. Or if every time he sits down, he just goes, "Oh, milk." That's probably a red flag as well. And yeah, that'll do. I'll do a full video on actual tattoo artist red flags. Otherwise, it'll get too long. But yeah, those ones are definitely top of the list. How and when I started tattooing is the next question. I've just passed my 10-year anniversary of doing my first tattoo on someone else. So I think before that I'd maybe done about 6 months, 4 months maybe tattooing myself, and like fake skin and stuff like that. But I think it's about 10 years since I did my actual first full tattoo on somebody that was a customer. And how I started tattooing is I applied for a load of it. So I'm 35 now. I started trying to get an apprenticeship from when I was 16, kind of fresh out of school, really. I started going to, there was a tattoo studio near where I live called Enchanted Arts that ended up being called Gisborough Tattoo Emporium. I started applying for some apprenticeships there. A apprenticeship, sorry, not some apprenticeships. I started trying to get the guys there to teach me. And I was getting tattooed from that shop from about age 18 onwards. But they didn't really have space or time to teach anyone, so I sort of tried going elsewhere. And I got turned down from a lot of places. My portfolio probably wasn't as good as it should have been in hindsight. I had all I did really was draw like woodcut tattoo designs. So my portfolio was full of like woodcut artwork, which wasn't really a thing so much back then in tattooing. So I got turned down from quite a lot of the local shops, and then I kind of gave up for a while, or just put it on the back burner. I always knew I'd end up being a tattoo artist, but I kind of put it on the back burner. Went to college, went to uni, and did computer game design at uni, and then I almost sort of started an apprenticeship, or we spoke about me starting an apprenticeship with Paulie LeVay in Newcastle, but I just don't think I could. I think he'd like said he'd be up for teaching me, which I obviously appreciate massively. But I don't think I could have made the commute work for the amount of time I'd have kind of needed to be there to learn anything and, like open the shop and stay back late and stuff. It would have been, I don't think I drove at the time. So it would have been a fucking shitload of buses and that. And then I ended up getting a tattoo apprenticeship in Middlesbrough, which was like about 20 minutes away from where I live, which was great. And then that's it. That's how it started. And now I am 10 years in and have my own shop, and I work with loads of mates and my partner, and it's just bloody great. Yeah, next question. Next question from my good friend Lunny Bear, John Lunn. He says, with an unlimited budget, what kind of sandwich would you have made and by which chef? So it's a hard one, this, because the ingredients I'd need to make an optimum sandwich aren't too out there in terms of price and stuff. I reckon, and obviously I don't eat any animal products and that, so I'm wondering if maybe I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, but if I could just get some like really, really world class, like experienced vegan chef, and have him just make, like, if I just said, just make me a fucking dead nice toasted sandwich on like a baguette or something like that. Other than that, I feel like I can make a sandwich that I like a lot just at home. So they'd have to do a lot to make a better sandwich than I'm making for myself, just with my own 7 years of experience, tailoring and tinkering and experimenting with all these different ingredients. Yeah, probably a shit answer, but next question. This one from Damo is "Speak of the Anguished Man" if you haven't already. Yeah, so I don't know if I've posted about it much on this like Instagram or whatever, but my dad actually has and owns the Anguished Man painting, which is apparently one of the most haunted items in history. I've actually got it now. He gave me it to kind of look after because I'm not too sure why really, but it's probably something to do with my brother having a baby, my nephew, and maybe I don't know, maybe my dad didn't want a potentially haunted item to be around a baby like that, but I offered. I said I'll keep it if you want. I don't really believe in stuff like that. I'm not. I don't not believe in ghosts and like supernatural stuff, but I don't really know what I think about it, and I don't necessarily believe in like the afterlife and stuff. I don't even know what that means anyway. I'm gonna get existential here, but yeah, check it out on Google. It's a fucking creepy ass painting, and I've got it, and it's either haunted or it's not. It's up to you to decide. I don't fucking know. This question just says Souls Law. I'd probably have to do a full video on this, but my favourite... it's difficult. Anything Souls born or FromSoft related law-wise is really difficult for me to choose like a favourite of. I'd maybe say Yorm the Giant could be some of my favourite law, or maybe... I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? I like Seath the Scaleless is kind of like supposed law, and like Havel or Havel, however you pronounce it. But yeah, I'll maybe do a full video on my favourite pockets of Souls Law. That's quite a good little side quest. Next question. This question is, do you miss doing freehand tattoos? You did 2 for me years ago and they were sick. I do miss doing them. It's just quite hard finding people that are willing to just get anything that it turns out to be. I really enjoyed doing those ones we did on it was your shins, wasn't it, I think? But yeah, it was quite fun. So just for anyone watching that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I just fully freehanded 2 full tattoos without any planning, no idea of what they were going to be, just a vague kind of like, let's see what happens, almost like doing a sketch on someone. No preconceived notion of what it's going to be. So no like, oh, it's going to be a skeleton, it's going to be a hand, it's going to be a castle, nothing like that. Just kind of not sketched it, just tattooed it straight away, but it was kind of like doing a sketch where I just sort of started with a head or a face and or a skull and built my way out from it to create the tattoos. I would like to do more like that, but yeah, it's hard finding people that are going to be so open to, just getting a fucking random design that they haven't seen before. So I appreciate your trust on that like a lot. It's probably one of my favorite tattoo memories from times past. Next question is, how did your style of tattooing evolve from when you started? Did you always do black work? Yes, I've always done black work. I've done some colour tattoos, and well, quite a lot of colour tattoos. I don't post them too much, but I can and will do colour tattoos. I just prefer black. I think it looks better, and I think it not heals better, but I like how black tattoos look when they've aged a little bit into the skin more than colour. My style in general, so in college I did a lot of like lino cutting and experimented with like wood burning and stuff like that. And as I went through that process, I just kind of ended up deciding to cut out the middleman, which was the actual lino cutting process, and skip straight to drawing things that look like lino or woodcut. So that's how it sort of came from that. And I did a lot of woodcut, kind of medieval etching stuff when I first, when I first started. And then it wasn't so popular then when I used to do it. And I did do quite a lot of it, maybe for 2 years, but then as time went on, people were just asking for stuff to be shaded, have like solid black, kind of like more just general illustrative sort of designs. So I started just doing and drawing and posting more just dark illustrative stuff instead of like woodcut things. And then I occasionally do like some kind of line work woodcut stuff now, but it's a lot less common. I find people just generally expect the kind of dark shading and like heavy shading sort of stuff that I do now with like stipple. And then every now and then someone will pop up and say specifically like, oh, I want this from you, but can you do it like you used to do tattoos? And I like doing both. I feel like I've got two styles running alongside themselves. I'll put some in editing to come up on screen to show you what I mean. But we've got like the kind of woodcut artwork, woodcut inspired illustrative sort of thing, where it's mostly lines in solid black. And then we've got this sort of style where it's like inspired by like From Software, concept art, other tattoo artists, obviously. Yeah, you see the difference anyway. But yeah, good question. Next question. This is the last question for now. So, who inspires your art / who do you think is a dope artist, any medium? So, one of my favourite artists is, I'm probably going to unfortunately butcher their name, is Zlatoslaw Beskinsky. He just does some super cool, like, post-apocalyptic, creepy, like, end-of-worldy, trauma-laced horror paintings. I really like them. When I was in school and probably early into college, I really kind of took a lot of inspiration from, again, I'm going to butcher the name, it's like Chet Zar. They're like super cool, big inspiration. In terms of tattoo artists, I should probably research how to pronounce people's names, but one of my favourite tattoo artists on Instagram is, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like Haikdo. Apologies if I've just fucking tarnished how that sounds. Their work is absolutely incredible. I'd love to get a tattoo off them someday. I like CJ Tattooer, who does all the From Software stuff. He's probably one of the best going at the moment. Grind Design, Sneaky Mitch, Anthony Fleming, Gara Tattooer. He's probably up there with my favourite kind of like inspo and just like technical ability and stuff like that. There's loads. There's too many. I'll do a full video actually on this. That's a good question. I'll maybe do my top 10 favourite artistic inspirations. I generally get inspiration in terms of like subject matter just from video games, books and films, in that order really. Mostly video games, you know, I play a lot of RPGs and dark fantasy stuff, read a lot of dark fantasy books, and watch some like, well, I watch a lot of horror films, but I don't watch films that much in general. I've never been one to like rush to the cinema or rush to like streaming to watch something as soon as it comes out. I don't mind waiting a couple of years to watch something that I'm hyped to watch. I'm more video game and book orientated for my inspirations and for my hobbies and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll do a full video on like my favorite artists because I like that. But yeah, good question. Thanks. I think that is every question I got asked. Hopefully I haven't missed anyone out. I will post another one of those things in about a week because I'll probably do this as a regular video, or maybe like not weekly but monthly or something, do like a ask me anything kind of thing. I enjoyed that. It was quite fun. I tried not to read the questions too much or at all really before doing the video, just so I could have like a genuine response rather than a pre-thought kind of robotic response to them. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed that and I'll do more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If you would like a tattoo from me, head to my Instagram, send me an email, and I'll get you booked in, as long as it's a cool idea. See you next time.